Math, Lesson 107. Open your workbook to Lesson 107 and find Part 1. Problems A and B. Touch line plot A. This line plot shows the number of chicks in different nests. The name under this line plot is chicks. So the numbers show chicks. The letter N stands for nests. 3 nests have 1 chick. Write the total for nests that have 1 chick. Then figure out the totals for nests that have 2 chicks, 4 chicks, and 7 chicks. Pause the video now to work the problem. 3 nests have 1 chick. 10 nests have 2 chicks. 8 nests have 4 chicks. 7 nests have 7 chicks. Here's what you should have. Write the totals for nests in line plot B. Pause the video now to work the problem. Resume when you're ready to check your work. Zero nests have 0 chicks. 8 nests have 2 chicks. 6 nests have 3 chicks. 4 nests have 4 chicks. Here's what you should have. You put a 0 here because 0 means nothing. There are 2 nests with nothing in them. Let's move to unit conversion word problems. Some word problems name 2 units that are related, like hours and minutes or feet and inches. The question in the problem names the unit you end up with, so you change everything to that unit. This reads, the counter was 3 feet long. It was made 48 inches longer. How many feet long is the counter now? The question names feet, right here, feet. And we're going to change inches right here into feet. It starts with feet right here. It says we added 48 inches to it, but it wants to know how many feet in all now. So we need to change inches into feet. We're going to divide inches by feet. We're going to divide 48 by how many inches are in 1 foot, which is 12. We'll divide 48 divided by 12. 48 divided by 12 is 4 feet. I'll read the first part of the problem again. The counter was 3 feet long. It was made 48 inches longer. The counter was at first 3 feet. Then we added 4 feet or 48 inches to it. So how long is the counter now? In feet, it's 7 feet long. Remember, the question names the unit that you need to in the answer. So you change any measurement that is not in that unit. So our question is saying feet, and we know inches needs to be converted to feet. B, the board was 50 inches long. A worker sawed off 2 feet. How many inches long is the board now? The board was 50 inches long. A worker sawed off 2 feet. How many inches long is the board now? The question gives us inches, so we want everything to be in inches. We have inches here, and we have feet here, so we need to change feet into inches. So which unit in the problem do we have to change into inches? Right here. 2 feet needs to be converted into inches. The worker sawed off 2 feet. And we need to multiply 2 feet, so we know there's 1 foot in every 12 inches. So we're going to multiply 2 by 12. 2 times 12 equals 24. So 2 feet equals 24 inches. Now you can work the problem. So we had a board that was 50 inches long, and we took off 24 inches. What is left? $50 minus 24 equals 26 inches. There's 26 inches left on the board now. Mr. Brown went on a 2-week vacation in June. In December, he went on a 10-day vacation. How many vacations did he have during the year? How many vacation days did he have in the year? The question is asking for days. Here we have 2 weeks, and here we have 10 days. The question is asking days, so we need to convert 2 weeks into days. There are 7 days in a week, so we need to multiply 7 times 2 to get how many days this is. 7 times 2 equals 14. So in June, he went on a 14-day vacation, and in December, he went on a 10-day vacation. So how many vacation days did he have during that year? What's 14 plus 10? 24 days. Here is a new kind of problem. Read it. 2 3/4 times 1/2. Again, 2 3/4 times 1/2. We work the problem by changing the mixed number into a fraction. To do that, we need to turn it into a top-heavy fraction. The denominator will stay the same. So our equation is 4 times 2 plus the numerator. So the denominator times the whole number, add the numerator. 4 times 2 equals 8, plus 3 equals 11. So 2 3/4 equals 11/4. Then we'll multiply that by 1/2, like so. Then we multiply straight across. 11 times 1 is 11, and 4 times 2 equals 8. Then we want to convert it back into a mixed number. This is top-heavy, and we want a whole number here, giving us 1 3/8. 11 minus 8 equals 3, which gives us our numerator. 11 minus 8 is 3, denominator stays the same, and this goes in here. 11 goes into 8 one time. So 2 3/4 times 1/2 equals 1 3/8. Next, 1/4 times 2 3/7. Turn this into a fraction first. 7 times 2 equals 14. 14 plus 3 is 17. So this fraction becomes 17/7. Multiplying straight across gives us 1 times 17 equals 17. 4 times 7 equals 28. 17/28. This is not top-heavy, so this is as far as you can go. Find part 2 in your workbook. You have 4 of these problems to work. Pause the video now to work them. Here's what you should have. Problem A. 3/5 times 1 3/4. 4 times 1 is 4. So remember, your denominator stays the same, but 4 times 1 is 4. So times and then plus. 4 plus 3 is 7. So your new equation is 3/5 times 5/4, which equals 21/20. However, this is top heavy. So what you need to do is 21 minus 20 is 1. Denominator stays the same, and 21 can go into 20 one time. Here's your answer. B. 3 1/3 times 2/7. Let's fix this number first. So we know we need to multiply this. Is 9 plus 1 is 10. So you have 10/3 times 2/7, which gives you 20 21s. This fraction is as small as it can get. So there you go. The answer to C is 34/5. Sorry, 34/45. The answer to D is 1 11/16. Moving on. Here's a rectangle divided into a part for the tens and a part for the ones. The whole rectangle shows 3 times 25. The whole rectangle is 3 times 25. There are 3 rows. Here we have 20 columns, and here we have 5 columns that are not shaded. The multiplication problem for the tens is 3 times 20. The multiplication problem for the ones is 3 times 5. 3 times 20 equals 60, and 3 times 5 equals 15. Together, 60 plus 15 equals 75. Now we know 3 times 25 equals 75. To check our work, we can do 75 divided by 3, which should equal 25. The answer is the number of squares in the top row. Right here, that's shaded. 75 divided by 3 is 25. So what it's saying is 75 split into 3 groups, or 3 rows, you'll have 25 in each row. Here's your answer, 25 in one row. 25 in this row, 25 in that row, last row. There are 20 shaded squares in the tens part, and there are 5 shaded squares in the fives part. This part represents the tens, and this part represents the ones. Find part 3 in your workbook. The whole rectangle shows 5 times 31. You're going to figure out the total number of squares in the rectangle then work the division problem. I'll repeat that. The whole rectangle shows 5 times 31. You're going to figure out the total number of squares in the rectangle, then work the division problem. The multiplication problem for the tens is 5 times 30. 5 times 30 equals 150. Write the answer below that part. The multiplication for the ones is 5 times 1. 5 times 1 equals 5. Write that answer and complete the addition equation for both parts. There are, together, 150 plus 5 equals 155 squares are in the whole rectangle. Now we'll work the division problem. There are 5 rows, so we are going to divide by 5. The division problem for the whole rectangle is 155 divided by 5. The answer is the number of squares in each row. There are 30 squares in the tens part for each row, and there is 1 square in each part for the ones row. There are 31 squares in each whole row. That's the answer to the problem, 155 divided by 5. Write the problem and the answer next to the rectangle. Then shade the top row to show the answer. Remember, each row shows the division for the tens part and the division for the ones part. Moving on. Last time you worked problems to find the surface area of all the faces on a rectangular prism. There are 6 faces to a rectangular prism. The faces are in pairs. Both faces of a pair have the same area. The top and bottom face have the same area. The back and the front face have the same area. And the right and the left face have the same area. Here is your equation to find the surface area of all 6 faces. Surface area equals 2 times the quantity of top plus front plus side. Again, the equation reads, surface area equals 2 times the quantity of top plus front plus side. Yes, we'll find the area of the top face, then the front face, and a side face and add. Then we multiply the answer by 2. That gives us the area of all 6 faces. In part A, start with the equation for surface area. Figure out the area of the top, the front, and the right side, and write the equation with those numbers. 4 times 3 for the top is 12. 10 times 3 for the front is 30. And 10 times 4 for the side is 40. So you have 12 plus 30 plus 40. The total of these 3 faces is 82. Then we multiply that number by 2, giving us 164 squared inches. Remember, your answer is units squared, or squared units. New problem. Figure out the area of the top, the front, and the right side, and write the equation for those numbers. The top is 6 times 1, which is 6. The side is 3 times 1, which is 3. And the front is 3 times 6, which is 18. So our equation is 6 plus 3 plus 18. The total of 6 plus 18 plus 3 equals 27. 27 times 2 equals 54 squared feet. Now, find the table of the metric units on the inside back cover of your textbook. I'll show problems. If you don't know the measurement factor for a problem, look it up in the table. Change 5 8/10 centigrams into milligrams. The units named in this item is centigrams and milligrams. Find the fact that has both names. The fact is 1 centigram is 10 milligrams. there are more milligrams than centigrams. 10 milligrams for every 1 centigram. So if you end up with milligrams, you're going to multiply. You're going to multiply by 10. Write the answer and the unit name in part A. The answer is 58 milligrams. New problem. 28 and 5/10 liters into centiliters. The units named in this are liters and centiliters. The fact that you can find in the back of your book find it. The answer is 2,850 centiliters. Next, new problem. Change 802 meters into kilometers. Find the fact in the back of your book that has both of these, meters and kilometers. The answer is 802,000 kilometers. Change 52 millimeters into centimeters. The answer is 5 2/10 centimeters. Change 2 3/10 grams into milligrams. The answer is 2,300 milligrams. Your independent work begins now. Independent work is textbook, one through 10, no workbook. Reach out to me if you need help. Otherwise, get busy.